All right. I believe we're live.
There we go. I see people coming in. Awesome. Welcome, guys. Welcome back. Hello. Alyssa, Amanda, Amy, Aurora, Shay, Chris, Melissa, Gazelle. Hi, guys. Let's kick this off with some wins this morning. If you are coming back, drop it in the chat if you were here yesterday. What was something you picked up or took home or an aha moment from yesterday? We would love to celebrate you. Tell us in the chat.
Oh, we got Naples in the house.
We have an amazing guest speaker today. Are you guys ready for this? New coach today, coming in hot. Let's hear your wins from yesterday, guys. Drop them in the chat. Sarah, do you have any polls you want to kick today off with? Inspired to get my shit together. I love that. That's a good win from yesterday, Julie.
Wait, the Vava method. We have some love for the Vava method.
Yay. Dane, did you ever use Vavoom hairspray? Or was that a miss for you?
I think it was a miss for me. It's never too late though, Ashley. It's never too late.
Do they sell it anymore? I swear, like, I go back and if I smell a hairspray, it takes me back to like a period in time. Sarah, do you feel like that? Or are you not like a hairspray user?
I'm not really a hairspray user, but yes, that smell will just take me back to the girls' locker room. And like I don't know, you got to get out of there. How they didn't make us wear those masks if we were going to use that much aerosol in a confined space, I don't know.
Slightly unhealthy. The other day, fun fact, I love hairspray. I use a lot of hairspray. Tell me in the chat, if you're not sharing a win, tell me what kind of hairspray you use. I was at Starbucks the other day, and the barista literally said to me, she said, "Do you use a Mika hairspray? Because I can smell it and it smells wonderful." And I was like, let's be friends. Yes, I am.
Wow.
That's pretty good. She's also a hairstylist and barista on the side. So, I mean, she had a bit of an in.
Okay,
Living,
we have a lot of Amika love in the chat. Who knew?
I
I don't even
mean,
know what that is.
what? Sarah, I'm gonna get you a bottle.
Oh, can I just make one note because already see it in the chat. I saw a lot of comments on live today when I went live. We do send out the recording of the summer school days, so it should be in your inbox. We will definitely send out today's. I got my recording from yesterday, so you should have that in your inbox. So I know that's going to come up a bunch, and I will say it again. Don't worry, but we will definitely be sending you the replays.
So good.
All right.
And this
Okay.
may be summer school first. We have someone in the dentist waiting room watching summer school from the dentist waiting room. That may be a first.
Wow, this is gonna be the highlight of your day. Certainly not the dentist. What comes next? But all right, poll for today. Who was here yesterday? Drop your answer in the poll. Let's hear it. Retail scorecard I see as a takeaway from yesterday. What other wins or takeaways do you guys have? What are you putting into place? Everyone's going to take away something about hairspray today and inventory management. Goes hand in hand. I'm going to smell Ashley's hair at Summit. That's a little creepy. That's a little creepy, but if you can smell the Amiga, I mean, it is what it is.
I see some people that customize their chat GPT. That if you did nothing else, yeah, that is a huge win. I like it. I like the multitasking. Jen's out walking her dog while listening. Oh man. Brussels sprouts.
Yeah,
Brussels sprouts.
this is going to be a good day. The chat is
Yep.
rowdy today.
Yeah. Okay, so 83% of people were here yesterday. I like it. And another 10% is going to watch that replay. I like that. All right, I have a question I want to ask. Let's see. I ended that one. This is one. I want to know who here. We had a lot of questions about retail boot camp last night. All day yesterday. We fielded a bunch of questions. So I'm curious.
Yes. Ooh, lots of RBCers. Actually, it's an even split. Look at that. Yes, no, I want to learn more. Can I let everyone in on a secret? What we decided to do yesterday that we didn't talk about that you guys need to know? There were so many questions yesterday that Dane And Samantha and Phoebe cleared their calendar. So if you want to jump on the phone, if you're like, hey, I want to know more about RBC, they also will do a free website audit with you guys. So if you want to do that and get on the phone with our team and ask about RBC and also just take advantage of the free website audit, we are going to do that. So surprise. So Samantha just dropped that link, I think, in the chat. So we will do that. Oh, dog.
So Crystal, if you want to do the audit, you can see Samantha is in the chat. She is putting the link in, so you'll book in right into our calendars. And Aubrey, yes, I will see you in a little bit. We have our audit and inventory call later today, so I'm excited. My calendar is clear for you guys.
I like it. All right. And if somebody could drop that link in the Facebook group too. I see some people asking inside the Facebook group about that opportunity. Perfect.
Melissa, third time's a charm. Welcome back. That's the cool part about RBC is those of you who are here who have been a part of it, with the lifetime access piece, you guys come back. There's 2 semesters a year, January and then June, always the J months. And once you're in, you just join one time and then it's live group coaching every single semester. You get to come back again and again. So excited to see lots of you guys coming back.
I saw Aubrey ask, are we going to be doing any teaching on live videos? Not in summer school, but yes, in RBC. We've built in some new trainings in about live selling inside RBC just because, and we have a huge event for it at Summit or workshop for it at Summit because it is so popular right now and traction with people live selling. So yeah, lots of education coming around that.
Sound is very messed up. Sorry, Margot. I hope the sound's not. Is the sound working for everyone? I feel like I hear you perfectly, Sarah. I hear you, Ashley. Okay. Well, Sarah, I got to be honest. I'm a little nervous.
Why?
Because we have so much content to cover.
I know.
We got to jump in because we got a lot to get through today.
We do have a lot to get through today, and I'm super excited that you're here, Dane. Can you just take a second and introduce why I get the slides up? You introduce yourself. Who are you, and why are you here, Dane? Like, what validates you? Do you have any experience in this realm, Dane Cohen?
Yes, I'm the official hairspray expert at the Boutique Hub. So all hairspray questions could come right through me. But on a serious note, I'm the newest member to the Boutique Hub team, and we're getting past the point where I could say that. So this may be the last time I could say I'm the newest member. And for a lot of people in the boutique community will know me because I was previously at Management One, where we focused on all things inventory and profit, and worked with a lot of Boutique Hub members to really build out open to buy plans and financial planning and inventory planning for their business. But my background is in independent retail. So I worked with my family and our family business for almost a decade. And, we were lucky enough to have 7 stores across New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. And so did everything from starting to work in the basement in the receiving department and, working my way up to the floor and then eventually working as the head of the buying office. So I've seen every facet of this business and know it from the personal perspective because anyone on this call, I don't have to tell anyone how personal retail is. So, this is a family business to me. I know it's the same for everyone. Love that Dana's here. Hi, Misty. So I'm excited to jump in and share some of my knowledge from over the years.
All right, let's do it. Yes, you are more than qualified. I love it. We are so blessed to have you on the team, and the community is blessed to have you as part of the Boutique Hub team. It's a win all the way around. I know everybody's super excited. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Let's get started. We do have a lot to cover today. Just as we're tying in these 3 days of education, yesterday we started with this whole content strategy, right? We mapped out, we asked you to get your calendar, map out like what's going to be important to you in Q3 and Q4. Where's your money going to be coming from? What's important to you, your people, your community? And we worked our way backwards. We kind of talked through that whole content idea, right? So now here we are, day 2. What do we have to do to make that happen? To have the best Pink Friday, have the best back to school event, all of those kind of things. It's going to take cash and it's going to take some inventory. So we want to identify places in your business where you can build out a better strategy to find that cash. So that's kind of what we've done here in summer school, why we've laid it out this way, helping you get through those J months. We did a quick little introduction. I'm going to bypass that. As you guys know, we're with the Boutique Hub. If you found yourself here and like, I clicked on a link in an ad, but I'm not really sure who these guys are. You're going to see so much love for the Boutique Hub and Retail Bootcamp and what we do here in the chat. But we're welcome to answer more questions. But ultimately, you guys, we like to say we are your eyes and the ears in the industry. We're here to help answer questions, give you support, save you tons of money, not just on discounts for services and platforms and things like that, but also from making big costly mistakes in your business. And that's why you guys are here in summer school. So if you want more information, let somebody know in the chat and they'll be happy to get you that information as well.
And Sarah, can I just pop in for
Yeah.
one quick second?
Yeah.
Because we are in our talk today going to be chatting about some things that are in the membership library, right? In that training library. So there will be sometimes we're talking about links and assets that you can access training materials in the library. So if you're a Boutique Hub member, hopefully you know exactly where that is and exactly how to enter your dashboard and get access to the links that we're going to share. But if you're not a member, just know that there are some tools we're going to be talking through that are on the member side of the community. And, Samantha, if you could put in a link to join membership, I think everyone, knows about the immense amount of knowledge we're providing. We're going to go into the 6 layers of retail, but just wanted to level set that so no one gets confused while we're talking about some of these tools.
I like it. I like it. And just as a reminder, everybody that's been through Retail Bootcamp, we love to teach in this proven 6-layer strategy. We want to take you on a foundation level, building that solid rock foundation of which you can build a successful business on. And so as we're walking through things, if we say the 6 layers of retail, that's a Retail Bootcamp strategy. And we have helped thousands of retailers build this in their business to really scale and grow. So as we mention it, just a little background, that is where this really comes from. And you'll see we always start at the foundation level and then work our way up. That's why tomorrow we're finishing with this paid traffic plan. We didn't start it off on day 1. We're going to finish there tomorrow. So you guys make sure you come back for more information. We talked a little bit about it, but I know this is where we kind of said we fielded a lot of questions. So we just put this slide up front and center. What is Retail Bootcamp? It is our small group coaching course. It is more intimate inventory, retail management, strategy foundation training than you're going to get anywhere else. It's not just sit down and listen to pre-recorded videos. Today we're in a webinar where Dane and I get to see our faces together. We don't get to see you in the back end of the webinar, but in Retail Bootcamp, we're all in a Zoom room together. So you can raise your hand, you can ask questions. We answer them live in the class for 14 weeks, twice a year. And once you enroll, it's lifetime access. The big thing here, I just want to draw your attention to, because this was a big question we had last night. Yes, it is lifetime access. Yes, the price is still today the same as it was when we started, but it will not be this way forever. Price is going up in 2026. Dane, anything else you want to touch on there real quick?
Well, I've had the pleasure of being a guest teacher in Retail Bootcamp, and every time I've been able to teach it, I mean, the response is just so tremendous. And I think that I'm going to let other people speak for it, but I saw that about 35% of people attending today have done Retail Bootcamp or are in Retail Bootcamp. So if you want to put in the chat your experience, I think that transformational power is going to be best spoken by the retailers who have actually been through it. Because I know from a teaching perspective, the feedback that I get and the just the immense gratitude for this 6-layer system that you go through, and honestly, just having time with Sarah and Ashley and being there together with them throughout this journey, it's pretty incredible. So I just
appreciate you saying that. Kathleen, I see you signed up. Awesome. I cannot wait to see you inside. I saw another, this is a common question. If you have a business partner, if you have someone that runs a business with you, you only need to buy the course the one time. That course lives with your business, right? You don't need 2 different owners of the course. So that's a great investment for you as well. And also there's a special code. There's a special little code for jumping in here. Love it. You guys get to save $200 off. I know somebody's going to drop that code here. There it is, fast 200. So we don't need to spend a lot of time on this, you guys. This is not why we're here, but we had a lot of questions about it last night. So if you are one of them, please scan this code or scan this QR code. You can save your spot. It's limited enrollment, but we want to jump in and get into the meat of today's topic and this discussion, but just want to hit this right away because I know we have a lot of people asking, yes, you can save the $200. It's not a joke. Here we go. Are we ready?
We're ready.
All right. Revenue. Man, show me the cash. Show me the money. Retail is the cash business. And today we want to start off with one of the big questions we had yesterday of talking about how do I pay myself? Ashley said something about it yesterday in the class. And I saw some people in the chat saying, hey, I don't pay myself. I have no idea how to do that. So that is one of the first things we want to discuss today.
Yeah, and Sarah, I think when we were kind of coming up with the curriculum, we really wanted to start here because the thing that I hear the most from boutique owners, right? And this is across the board, whether you're a pet store, a home and gift store, a fashion boutique, is I just don't feel like I'm paying myself enough, right? I'm working the hardest I can work. I'm building this business. Hey, even if my sales are good, right? I have some good revenue, but I'm not putting money in the bank. And I always like to say, you are not in this to be running a volunteer organization, right? I mean, we do want to give back to the community, but we want to help you build success for your family, your team, and then be able to give back to that community. So being able to pay yourself first is so important. And, the reason why we're connecting this into inventory, cash, and profit is because, like you said, Sarah, retail is a cash business. So your ability to pay yourself is going to be rooted in your ability to generate cash in your business. So hopefully that's going to be the through line here of how we can actually start really generating that cash and profit is by, some of the kind of tactics and techniques we're going to talk about today, and then obviously go into even deeper in Retail Bootcamp.
Yeah, for sure. This is a big part of what we want to do in Retail Bootcamp, specifically because we know you can only run on feels for so long, right? Feels don't pay mortgages. They don't pay car bills. They don't pay doctor bills. You need cash for that sort of thing. You can't even use your unsold inventory to pay your bills. We'll talk about that in a minute. But that is why this is one of the biggest pieces of building your business that everybody needs, and they need to pay attention to it. We can't just say, I'm going to put everything I have back into my business and make that bigger and better. Everything in these pictures costs money, right? And that money's got to come from somewhere. However, not everything that we spend money on is needed in our business, right? And when we spend that money and how we spend it is the difference between successful businesses and long-term businesses and ones that are just here today, gone tomorrow. So this is a goal, right? 5 to 10% of your sales a week should go back to you. Let me know in the chat, like who's saying, holy crap, 5 to 10% of my sales every week? What is she, is she crazy? How am I ever going to pay whatever this random bill might be? Holy crap, I see you, Sarah Campbell. Yes, mind blown. How about if we establish that as a goal for you guys today? Hey, 5% sounds great.
That sounds great.
Sounds great. Yeah, you got to start somewhere.
And so I think, Sarah, putting this into context, and I think that this, the next graphic that we're going to show, the where does my money go? I think I cannot tell you, right, how important this graphic is right here. There are benchmarks that you should be working against in your retail business. And I think that understanding this is so vital to your success, because I speak to a lot of retailers that tell me, they're doing $500,000 worth of sales and their rent is $6,500 a month, right? And that is probably not in line with, the kind of industry standards. And so understanding where your operating expenses, just, off the bat, where your operating expenses are out of whack is just a good first place to start being aware. And a lot of this is awareness, right? You can't fix what you don't know.
Oh my gosh, so true. I mean, this goes back to like you guys sitting, I'm just going to use my personal example. Sitting at the kitchen table with my dad. All right, Sarah, you have a car. You want to go here, here, and here. How are you going to do it? right? And I couldn't just say, oh, I'll just go, I'll just drive here, I'll just buy this, I'll just go to the movie, I'll do all these things, right? Because he made me operate out of an envelope of cash. He made me go through my paycheck and put monies in each envelope for gas, for entertainment, for whatever that might be. What we're showing you here is basically that in the adult version from in a business standpoint. So these are just guides, right? Christine Gray with She Profits Now, we work off this together, and we always say these are guides. We're not writing this in stone, but if you're wondering, like, where is my money going? What should I be spending on labor? What should I be spending on marketing versus, payroll? This is a guide. And we go into this, we spend a whole week on this inside Retail Bootcamp. And there is a ton of trainings built right around this. How can I get leaner in one? How am I not robbing Peter to pay Paul at the end of the month when all of a sudden taxes are due and I spent the money, and next thing you know, I look and I'm like, oh, I have payroll in 2 days and I can't make it. So we teach you that strategy. We teach you how to develop and set aside those different accounts. So you are allocating that money accordingly. So at the end, guess what? At the end, you still have that money left over. And you know why? Because we teach you how to pay yourself first. We teach you how to take that 5 to 10% first.
Yeah, and it's just really important that we always look at this as a percentage of sales and not a dollar number. I just want to make that distinction, because if you spend more and you're making more, that's okay, right? So we don't want to just look at that hard dollars. We want to make sure that we're in line as a percentage basis. So we talked a little bit about one of the biggest feedbacks we get from boutique owners, which is, I feel like I'm not paying myself. Here would be number 2 for me, right? And Sarah, you and I think could both say that we speak with hundreds, thousands of retailers. I mean, we're out there on the front lines. And the second thing I hear the most is, I am not a numbers person. I'm not a numbers person. Could we be honest in the chat? Who here has said that? I'm not a numbers person. Can we get a little action in the chat? Oh, there we go. We got some me's. Guilty, hate it, me. Let me give you a reality check, okay? You are numbers people. You own your own business. How many people could you say in your friend group, in your family, in your extended network, own their own businesses? You are creating revenue, you are creating profit, you are paying people's salaries, you are paying yourself salaries, you are buying and selling merchandise. You're numbers people, right? And so I see Ashley put in, she blames her high school math teacher, and we've talked about that, but these are things that are rooted, deeply rooted, that we want to try to show you that by looking at the right metrics and looking at it without fear, right? And looking at it with, information and the right tracking, which is what we're going to kind of be going over today, then you will feel so empowered in your business.
Yeah. And I just want to pull up, I'm going to pull up our Something Inside membership that is a great tool for measuring these KPIs. But I also just want to say, I see a lot of people saying, I'm intimidated by the numbers. I'm not a numbers person, all those kind of things. To quote Mary Langry, she would say, who's a money person? Who likes money? So do you like money in the chat? Let's see it. Who's a money person? Give me a second. I'm going to pull up something else I want to show you guys.
Samantha Connor is number 1.
Yeah, I'm a money person. Show me the money. Yes, I see it. Yes, heck yes. Yeah. Guess what money is? It's numbers, guys. It's numbers. It's paying attention to these numbers. That's how we get it. So let me show you something that we have built into our membership. It's in RBC. We know this is a struggle. So can you guys go ahead and see my screen that I shared for membership? Are we there? Yep. Okay, perfect. So inside our membership, you guys, we have built in these retail calculators for you. So these are all plug and play calculators. Gray, you plug in your number, pink, it spits out the calculation. And we've explained what these calculations are and why they are important. So as you're thinking about measuring some of these key performance indicators that Dana and I are talking about, jump on in here, use the tools that we have built for you, because we know that it takes a lot of time. And when I always say date with numbers, you've got to set aside some date with numbers time. If you have to go reinvent the wheel, we know it's not going to happen. So guess what? We created these things for you. So I'm just going to continue to scroll through here. We're going to talk a lot about sell through today. We're going to discuss a little bit briefly about your open to buy plan. Who here has an open to buy plan? I'd like to know in the chat. In here, we have identified what it is, why it's important, what is the formula, and the step-by-steps to calculate it. And guess what? Here's the calculations. So
yeah. And so I put in the chat, this is one of those things we were talking about. I put in the chat the link to the calculators, the retail math calculators in the training library. If you are a member, you'll have direct access to it. If you're not, why are you not a Boutique Hub member? I mean, come on, guys. But I just want to say one thing from a personal experience. I remember when I started out in the family business, and I was working on the floor, and I was going to transition to the buying office. And do you know what I got? Like an encyclopedia called the Buyer's Manual, where it was literally a book this big, and I had to comb through this like dusty old book to learn all of this stuff. When I first joined the Boutique Hub and saw all of this right there in retail calculators, I was like, where were you when I was struggling in a back stock room with the buyer's manual that's 700 pages. So I really do want to just acknowledge how impactful this is for your business, and getting over that hump of being a numbers person. We've created those formulas that you need. So I just want to mention one other thing with the numbers person, and that is a retail quote that I live by, is that good sales hide a multitude of sins.
yes.
And why I bring that up is because this year has taught us that the hard way, right? When sales are good, when things are coming in, when everyone's buying, when the dollars are rolling in, you tend to forget the little back end things that are going to make your business strong. You let stuff crack, you're buying too much, you're not managing your operating expenses correctly. The minute that sales slow down, or that there is a bump in the road, that's when those things, those kind of areas we may have been neglecting really come to light. So when we talk about knowing your numbers, and we'll get into a lot of this as we go, we want to think about it in two buckets, right? And we're going to be releasing in the next few weeks something really exciting. We're going to be looking at, can I announce it? I'll just tease it, Sarah, I promise.
Sure.
We're going to be looking at the Sweet 16, right? What are those 16 metrics that are so vital to your business, and what buckets do they fall under? So we're going to give a little teaser of that right now, and you'll be seeing in the coming weeks really the full version of this. But we want to think about it in kind of two ways, and there are also other buckets. But performance, how am I actually performing? Right? What are my sales? Am I converting customers? Do I have the traffic that I should be having? Am I selling through merchandise at a good rate? What's my average order value? What are my units per transaction? That's measuring how you're performing as a retailer. And then when we look at the profit and inventory side, that's really measuring how your cash flow will manifest from your buying decisions, right? What are my cost of goods? How much did I spend on inventory? How am I pricing my goods? What's that markup? What's my maintained markup, my gross margin after the sales and discounts? How much did I actually receive and bring in? What's my net profit at the end of all of this? And how much inventory do I have on hand? So the company scorecard is going to be a real barometer for how to keep measuring all of this. And once we start to put this all together, and Sarah, I know you deep dive into this in Bootcamp, once we start to put this all together, the pieces of the puzzle, you start knowing what levers you can pull.
Yeah, for sure. That's the clarity. And this is the other tool that is built in, right? We talked about this yesterday. We talked about that retail scorecard, because it's not enough to just glance at them. The thing we want to do is we want to track these things every week in our business, right? So we establish a goal right here in the goal section. And then this is your spreadsheet to make your own. So then you start it today, or your date with numbers, and do it every single week. And then you can use ChatGPT. You can build in some AI connectors here in the sheet to analyze these things, put it in charts and graphs. And that's a whole nother topic. But nonetheless, you cannot make business decisions if you can't see the growth or the decline or a trend in your data. So that is what we really want to do and help this. The retail scorecard that we use inside Retail Bootcamp is that barometer that Dana is talking about. It helps you look and say, ooh, for the last 3 weeks, things have not been good. You're going to feel it. You're going to feel it maybe by looking at your bank account, but sometimes in your bank account, those things that you need to be concerned about don't show up for 30 days later, right? This scorecard is an indicator much more in real time.
And Sarah, do you mind if I share for one moment?
No, go ahead.
Okay,
Have
let's
at
see
it.
what we want to share. I just want to show the actual calculator here. Sorry, the scorecard here.
Yep.
And we've done this in a few different stages just to kind of put everyone's mind at ease. And there are different scorecards for depending on your business, right? So this is not just a one size fits all solution. There's different ways that you can engage with the scorecard. So you'll see here at the bottom, we have the company scorecard, we have the inventory scorecard, we have the sales scorecard. But I would say, as a rule of thumb, right, look at this company boutique scorecard. This is the kind of the main one, the meat and potatoes. These are really easy numbers to track. And so if you're feeling overwhelmed, if we just track these really easy to find numbers, what were your total sales? How many of those sales came from online? How many came from in store? What was your website traffic? We could just find that easily on Google Analytics. What was the store traffic? You know, how many email subscribers did I have this week? This is something that you can do. And if you put on, and you do this in Retail Bootcamp, the Date with Numbers series, right? If you commit to doing this for 30 minutes once a week, just taking down these numbers, you will be able to track your performance, know what is to identify as trouble areas in the business, and then know what levers to pull to fix it.
So true. So true. The clarity around things. You guys, this is what the big box retailers have. This is what those big box retailers have. And they have somebody sitting in an office telling them, guiding them, tracking and analyzing this data. And you guys as small business owners, you get to make these decisions on your own, which can be a blessing and a curse at the same time, right? We have to dedicate time every week to knowing these things and paying attention. That's why we were trying to make these very simple for you, so you don't have to go reinvent the wheel, right? You're not going to get a text message or an email from corporate saying, this is working, this is not, do this, do that. You're your corporate office. So let us help you provide those resources to make that possible. All right.
We're your corporate office.
We are your corporate office. We're your eyes and your ears. We're there. And the cool thing about that, and this is one thing I love about Retail Bootcamp, is we're all in these Zoom rooms together, stores from all over the country, plus industry experts. So like when I would bring, when Dane came in, when he worked with Management One and he was coming in, he was bringing in all his expertise and everything he knows from inside that world into that course as well. All of our industry experts do the same thing. So that's when we say we're your corporate office. That's really what I mean.
Okay, can we do a little fun experiment?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, in the chat, get ready, get your keyboards ready. Let's look at this white t-shirt, okay? If you were at market and you saw this white t-shirt and the wholesaler, the vendor, was selling it for $10, $10, that's the wholesale price. What are you pricing it at retail? Let's get some answers. $22.99, $30. Oh, whoa, 29. Whoa, okay. Woo, you guys are fast today. Okay, so I'm seeing we are somewhere in the range of $24 to $33. That's what I would say my quick analysis would be. We got 24, 28, 25, 30. Okay, awesome. Thank you. Now, we're going to switch it up a little bit. Okay. And you got to be just as fast on this one. Okay.
Yeah, speedy fingers. Let's go.
Okay. The next item I'm going to show you is this beautiful 24 karat gold necklace. It's by this Italian jeweler. Fantastic. And it is trendy. It is in style. It is, just it sparkles. It is a beautiful 24 karat gold necklace by a trendy designer right now that everyone is loving. How much are you pricing that for?
I actually think I saw that on the red carpet, that exact necklace just the other day.
Okay, we got
Ooh.
500, 300, 1,200. 45, 89, 50, 115, 200. Okay, so but Tiffany asks, I need to know the cost first.
Mm.
And here is where I'm going to challenge you.
Oh, hold on. What I want, can we do the water bottle example first? Okay.
You're
All
on.
right. So I'm going to do the water bottle. Okay. So here's your situation at the water bottle, guys. You are in Arlington, Texas. It is 110 degrees. You are at the ballpark and you are parched, and you walk up to the convenience store, the concession stand there, and you're like, I need a bottle of water. How much would you pay for that bottle of water at that time? Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
1999.
Now, next question. You are walking through your Dollar General, your Fred's, whatever you guys have there, and you see a case of water. You're going to pick up this case of water. How much are you paying for a case of water at Fred's or Dollar General or Walmart or Costco or whatever it is? All right. Now, Dane, we have laid the foundation.
And Tiffany, I'm sorry to use you as the guinea pig because a lot of other people said it as well, but I just saw your name. So sending you love, Tiffany. Yeah, okay, no problem. But here is my challenge to you, right? The first question that everyone asked about that necklace was, what's the cost? And my challenge would be, it doesn't really matter what the cost is. We want to price for the value, not just based on cost. And we sometimes get stuck in our heads. And I was so guilty of this as a buyer, right? I would just slap on a 2.5 markup across the board without really taking time to consider, how much is my customer really willing to pay for this? Is this an item that they can find easily somewhere else and everyone knows the price of it? Is it a unique item? Is it a one of a kind? Is it something new that I sourced? Is it something that's super hot right now and trending that I could put a few more dollars on that price? We want to get out of the mentality of just pricing based on cost and some, arbitrary kind of two-time markup that we come up with. Perceive value and don't price to your wallet. Amazing, Stephanie. That's awesome, awesome, awesome. Because where we're going with this is your pricing will determine the amount of profit you can make. Profit all starts with that initial pricing. Your markup is the ceiling that you create for your profit. So as we're pricing, and I know that can almost become, you go to market, you're tired, you just want to get home, put in your orders, get it in the system. But that pricing decision will set the tone for the amount of profit you can make for the rest of the year, right? So as we're buying and starting to land fall and starting to price holiday, I really want you to think about that.
Man, I think that was a mic drop moment. I know I saw a lot of people like, oh, I needed that. I love it. Great examples.
Especially on the unique things that were unique finds to your business. Okay, so we covered that idea of the profit ceiling, right? That pricing being the first step. Now, I want to talk to you about one thing that we don't think about when we talk about profit, and that is the concept of time when it comes to profit. Okay, so I want you to think of the best example of this, which is a supermarket, right? We can all visually see in a supermarket the concept of time as it relates to selling. So the first thing I want to say is, and I actually just did a little supermarket shopping this morning. When you walk into the supermarket, what's the first thing you see? You walk into, let's see if there's any answers. When you walk into your local supermarket, what's the first? The fresh produce, the fruit, the produce. You know what a lot of other supermarkets do? They'll put the bakery right in front because they want that fresh baked bread smell, right? You're never going to walk into the canned section of a supermarket. You're just never going to do it. And that is because it is all about how quickly they can start to sell this fresh merchandise. So the minute that you have merchandise hit your floor, it is that green banana, right? It is beautiful. It is presented well. And then as the time ticks on, this is what your bananas start to end up like, right? Spotty, brown, mushy. I want you to think about your inventory in the same exact way. And sometimes it's hard to kind of disconnect from, it's a dress, I could sell it whenever, or it's a candle, I can sell it whenever. Okay, I know I've been guilty of having those candles where the dust ring is so thick around it and it's like caught in the wax because it's been sitting on my shelf for so long. So the concept of turn here is how much time should you really have to sell an item? And so fashion retailers, right? 8 weeks is usually your goalpost, right? Once you get out of that 2-month window, you're starting to get into real trouble zone, right? And it's going to differ for home and gift stores, for jewelry stores, even pet stores. You could tack on a little bit more time, but I would say if you're looking at from a time window from 8 to 12 weeks, once you're past that, you are starting to get in the danger zone. And we see them, if we could take one lesson from big box retailers like Abercrombie, like Forever 21, like Zara, they have a 6-week, I think Zara is 5 weeks now. If it does not sell in 5 weeks, they take it out back and they shoot that product and it is gone. It is gone. You will not see it again. I see how long home and gift stores. You're looking more at the 12-week mark, home and gift stores, 12, even 14 weeks, depending on the product category. But if you're in a fashion boutique, right, you have to turn over your merchandise. That is how you build the cash, by continuously turning the merchandise, not having it sit and turn into those brown bananas. Okay, Aubrey, I see you asking about markdowns. We're going to get there. I'm going to turn it over to Sarah, but we will get to markdowns.
Yeah. So this is just that inventory reality check, your top sellers versus your dead inventory. What is helping versus hurting. So sometimes I talk to retailers and they're like, I don't want to put it on sale because I need it, I need it to fill a spot on my website, right? Like, no, people know it's old. You would not leave the exact same things in your store window, right? If you have something, I was just working with somebody, I was telling Dane this the other day, I was just working with somebody and I was looking through their new arrivals on their website, and they still had holiday Christmas on their new arrivals. And, I understand Christmas is going to be coming back around again, but it was not their new arrivals. And, the whole idea that I need something to fill a space, people catch on to that, right? We need to make things new again. If we're going to leave it in as a new arrival, we need to upload a new photo of it or something to make it new again. But the whole idea here is what is helping versus hurting us. And we have this short window. So if you are sitting on something that's a little bit more timeless, great. Home decor and gift has a longer shelf life. We just talked about that. But especially when you are talking about themed items, here we have the American flag, which would have worked for Memorial Day. Now we've got 4th of July coming up. The urgency is huge here to make this sweater move. It didn't move maybe in Memorial Day. So we've got 4th of July coming up, but let's be honest. We don't want it to still be there for Labor Day. So we want to take some action. There's something brand new you could go and invest in for Labor Day, right? Then the last thing here is this merry and bright. This definitely is Christmas all the way around. I don't care how you sell it, how you spin it. So the fact that it still sits on someone's website is a problem at full price nonetheless. So you've got to be looking at this and thinking, in our next example, I'm going to kind of walk you through that cash versus margin example and help you put the dollar bills to it. Dane, I know you've got something to add here before I move on.
Just very quickly, I see a lot of people asking questions about specific types of stores, children's stores, consignment stores. So we're going to loop back around to that in the Q&A. So I love it. I see you. We'll loop back around to some of these questions in the Q&A.
Yeah. And re-merchandising for sure. Keep it fresh. Keep it fresh. So the whole idea here is your first markdown. That's your cheapest one, right? That's your cheapest. But cash today beats margin someday. And if you're not really sure what I mean by that, is this example right here. And yes, you guys are going to be able to come back and rewatch this. But I made this post in our members group inside our Facebook or in our Boutique Hub community the other day. And this is an example of a $59.99 sweater, right? Notice I put the cost on there at $25 because that is not because of how much we price the sweater at, but it is important in this calculation. So here's option one. Option one is the sweater hasn't really moved. So we decided to take 25% off right now, right? So we're going to sell it at the $44.99. We decided that it hasn't been moving. Maybe it's sitting there and it's at like, say, week 4, week 5. The demand is not high. People, we've done everything with it. Nobody is biting on it, right? So instead of us thinking, gosh, someone will buy it, it's cute, somebody's going to buy it. This business owner decided to take it in her own hands and say, you know what, I'm going to mark it down right now, try to drum up a little excitement by it, 25% off. So I'm pricing it right there at that $44.99 minus my $25 investment. That means I'm making $19.99 on the sweater. So I have that $19.99 right then and there. It turned back into cash. I can only spend cash on my inventory. So I'm taking that basically $20 and I can go use it to pay bills, reinvest in other inventory, all the things, right? Now, retailer number 2, option number 2 here is this person says, man, that's a really nice sweater. I'm pretty sure it's going to sell. I'm willing to just sit on it. So they sit on it for another 6 weeks. The the time is ticking and nobody cares any more than they did 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago when it came in. And now those items have really aged out. They are brown. They are brown, mushy, gross bananas. The flies are swarming. Nobody cares. And at this point, I have to mark it down 60% to get eyeballs on it. So I take a deep discount of 60%, price it at $23.99. I have lost money. This shows $1.01 loss, but I don't even think that's accurate because every time I touch it, every time I move it, every time I photograph it, every time I do anything with it, it's costing me as the business owner money. It's cutting into my percentage of that 5 to 10% I'm taking home, right? So that is a loss in hand. And now I have no money to go reinvest in inventory. I can't pay any more bills. And as a matter of fact, I've missed out on great opportunity. So the takeaway here is, and again, I see home decor and gift stores are asking, that sell-through is a little bit longer, as Dane mentioned. But the whole idea here is we have got to have a pulse on the health of our inventory. We have got to be accountable for it and we have got to take action on it. We cannot get lazy with this, right? We cannot get lazy with our markdown strategy.
Yeah. And I see some questions about markdown strategy. Shelly, I see a question about markdowns strategy. So we're going to get there in just a minute. We're going to get there in oh, we're here. Okay.
Yep, there we go.
So let's talk markdowns 101. So Shelly, to answer your question, if you know that only a fraction of your community has seen the product, do you still think it is wise to mark it down at 8 weeks? Well, I'm going to answer that in 2 ways. The first is old product and stale product is a customer service issue. You are training your customer that they don't really have to return that often, right? If they're going to come back every 6 months and see the same thing, well, then you're basically telling them you just come back every 6 months. There's not really that much newness. So you do want to move that product. So you don't want to go, I'm not saying that 8 weeks is the hard cutoff. 8 weeks means you really want to start keeping an eye on it, right? So at 8 weeks, you should know, hey, this sweater has been here now for 2 months. I'm giving it 30 more days. I'm going to re-merchandise. I'm going to put it on Instagram. I'm going to do everything I can. And once that really starts to tip over into 10 weeks, 12 weeks, then you got to cut your losses. So markdowns 101, the first step is maintenance markdown. So that would be considered a maintenance markdown. Something has been here for 10 weeks. The sell-through is very low. It is not selling. There is not demand for it. I'm just going to quietly take that 25% markdown. And by the way, you could literally just mark it on the tag and leave it where it is. You don't even necessarily have to put it on a back rack. I think that there's this idea that it's going to look like a clearance section. It could be a little bit of a diamond in the rough, right? That someone's walking through, they're shopping the racks, they like this dress, and oh, it just happens to be 25% off. So that is a maintenance markdown, right? That is just at that 8 to 10 week point for fashion retailers, maybe a little longer for home and gift. Children's a little longer as well. But once you start getting to that past due time, then we're going to want to take that maintenance markdown and usually start it somewhere at 25%, right? 10% is not a markdown. Promotions, okay? Your promotions are when you want to stimulate sales in a specific category sector, Okay. And this is why that scorecard, right? We're going to tie this all together. When you're tracking your sales by category, if you have a lot of inventory and your sales are down in your denim department, then you may want to do a promotion, right? You may want to do a this weekend only, it's denim and, champagne weekend, right? Where we're going to do a denim promotion, a buy one, get one 50% off. We're going to have some champagne, and we want to promote denim specifically. As we talked about yesterday, full sale, count me in, Sam, I love it. Full store clearances. That's not what we want to be doing. We want to target certain product categories that we need to stimulate business with, and you could do that in a lot of fun ways. There's a lot of kind of creative ways you can do that. Then we're going to talk about clearance, right? That is when it has just hit a point where this has been in your store for 4 months. It has not sold. It is time to really take that hard mark. And do not be afraid to take that hard mark. Even if you end up losing a little bit of dollars on it, it will give you the cash back. And we have that little birthday cake. And by the way, that's a gorgeous birthday cake you selected, Sarah. I wish I was getting birthday cakes like that. I'm getting like an Entenmann's. Like what the heck? Who's getting this? Um, it is a non-negotiable. Merchandise should not be having birthdays, right? There should be no 1-year anniversary of product in your store. So clearance is a real thing that needs to happen at the end of the season, right? If it has stayed on your floor, if the demand isn't there, you got to move it along. And that's why July is so important. We're hitting that, the J month of all J months pretty soon. If stuff is sitting there that landed in March or February and it's still sitting on your floor, we got to start thinking about clearance items.
For sure.
We,
I was going to just say, the one thing I see people say is, but what if people, haven't bought it yet and it's still at 70% off? This goes back to the content that we talked about yesterday, guys. Going back and thinking, if I have products that has not moved, that's encroaching on that 6 to 8 weeks, or heck, maybe it's 12 months. Go back and think, what did I do with that? Or what didn't I do with that? What was the content I put out? Did people care? Go back to yesterday where we talked about the VAVA method and all of those things. And did I just post to post? Or was there a purpose behind what I was putting out there as far as my content? And yes, we're going to learn from all those mistakes. That's part of this whole process. And don't worry about in the past, but everything you do going forward after summer school here, and those of you guys that are in retail boot camp, and we walk you through this more hand holding, you won't be making those same mistakes. We won't be saying, oh, I'm not sure if my people saw it, or, people just didn't get excited about it, because you have to get excited about it. You have to be the educator and help them understand why that product is important.
And then Lisa said, I think one of the most important comments. Lisa said, I get this, but it's a delicate balance. You don't want to turn into a Kohl's. I promise you, if you take a real strategic view of your markdowns and you start integrating all of these things, right? Maintenance markdown, so you catch stuff early, right? That's when we're just taking that first pass at markdowns. Again, you could even keep it on the rack or on the shelf. You don't even have to put it in the clearance area. Then you're going to do promotions, which will come randomly, right? This weekend's a denim sale. 3 weeks from now is a jewelry sale. Then there's a Mother's Day promotion, right? Where that's going to be a shock and awe type thing. There's going to be no rhyme or reason. It's going to be based on your business needs. And then at the end of the season, you let some of the sale customers come in and buy that clearance stuff at the very end, the Christmas in July event, the sidewalk sales, that's the last stop on the train. So if you put these things together and use a markdown strategy that is cohesive, and don't just wait to the end and go, oh crap, I have a ton of stuff, I didn't take any markdowns, that's when you become the Kohl's clearance section, okay? But if you take this active strategy in your markdowns, especially on the maintenance end, you can avoid that problem. Sarah, you're on mute.
Okay. Sorry. I See, keep muting myself when I'm coughing, my bad. Okay, so let's shift gears a little bit. We're going to come back. Dane. That was awesome. I love that. We'll come back and talk and answer some more questions. We'll just get through this information here. Let's change gears about like what this looks like setting up for Q4 for our profit goals. So when we're doing this, all the things that we are talking about in measuring these things, the reason it is so important to what Dane just said is so we don't get to the end of the year and have this, oh crap, moment. Oh crap, I have too much inventory that's sitting here that I didn't put on sale. Or, oh my gosh, why is this whole run of sweaters sitting here? This had the most horrible fit ever, right? Did anybody try this on 12 weeks ago when it came in? I saw somebody put that in the comments. Yes, those kind of things happen. You know, oh crap, we got all the way to the end. We didn't reach our sales goals, but let me go back and look. Oh my gosh, Dane, as a salesperson, do you know you only sell one item at a time consistently? That's a problem. And Dane's like, oh, I didn't know I should have been doing something else, right? So we aren't measuring that units per transaction. You know, we're not measuring and saying, Dane, thanks for the $50 average order value, but man, buddy, I really need you to be bringing in $65 average order value. That's going to get us to that next level, having those conversations, right? Using those traffic calculators, those calculators inside membership and retail bootcamp that we talked about, and determining how many people do we need to get on our site every day? How many people do we need to get in our door every day to make these profit goals that we have established? And then say to the lever situation that Dane was talking about, like, what are we going to do about it? What do we do about it to make that happen?
So Sarah, you got me fired up now with the Markdown chat. But
is it because I called you out? No.
No, I'm going to be just as passionate about the traffic count.
Yes.
Okay, who here? Let's get another chat. Let's get some action in the chat. Who here has a traffic counter if you're a brick and mortar store? If you are a brick and mortar business, Misty has one. Who else has a traffic counter at their store? I do. Does anybody? And if you don't, you could say, not me. How do I get one? We do. I do not me. Okay, so we seem to have a mix of not me's. Oh, I'm seeing a lot of not me's. Okay, here is my big tip. Please do not get fancy about this, okay? Do not think you have to hire some laser beam company that's going to give like a face recognition for everyone that walks in your store and spend thousands of dollars. Go on Amazon, go on anything and just buy a traffic counter that you put. It's just like, you know, like the garage that you have the little, you know, the green beam that will count when people walk in. I see some people do it old school. We have paper and pen. For the $80 to $100 that it'll cost to get that traffic counter, it'll be such a good barometer for how the traffic patterns are happening in your store. And I just want to make one thing very clear. Patterns are what's important. You're never going to get the exact count. People come in, they come out, your employees. People get too hung up on, well, what do I take out my employees? You're looking for the pattern. Is my traffic increasing? Is it decreasing? And as long as you're tracking it every day, that conversion rate will be accurate, okay? So, and then the beauty is if you're an online store, if you're measuring traffic for your online business, Google Analytics, okay? It's your best friend. It's easy. Jeff has taught me all about it in Boutique Hub Black, and I've really been able to understand how to track those analytics. It is right there for you. It is done for you. So I saw Jeff joined. My email to you, I stopped overthinking. Oh, Misty, right. Misty got the traffic counter. See? Stopped overthinking it, just put it at the door. And then this traffic calculator, again, which is in the membership library. So if you are a member, you have access to all of these traffic calculators. If you are not a member, I'm going to send you my buyer's manual so that you can sit with a 700-page book in the stock room reading it. But if you're a member, you get to log in and just say, hey, about how many people do I need to walk through my front doors in order to hit my sales goals? Do you know how powerful that is? Sarah, I'm really fired up, but this is really powerful stuff.
It is. It's game-changing stuff. And this goes back to, you guys know, if you know me, you know I talk team management a lot. As a matter of fact, that's what my entire session at Summit is next week. This is training material for your staff. This is your team huddles to say, all right, this is where we are. This is where we want to be. What are we going to do to get there kind of mentality? And I saw somebody say, I used to work at the Buckle and I hated how much pressure they put on us. I'm just going to say this again, you're going to set financial goals. Running a business is expensive. You know, the bills come all the time. It takes money to pay those things. You want to be paying yourself 5, 10%. We talked about it at the beginning. The only way we're going to do that is we are going to have to turn this inventory into cash as fast as we possibly can to have a reinvestment strategy. We don't want these things aging out on our racks. Those are your dollar bills hanging there. So the people you employ have got to be bought into this. Right? Not everybody's going to be a salesperson. Some people are going to be your content writer. Some people are going to be, whatever, wear many hats. Maybe some people write email copy. Maybe some people clean. But the people that are in charge of selling for you, are going to have to do their job. Now, that if you're establishing sales goals, everybody needs to play the game. Right now, NBA playoffs, if those guys on the court don't produce, they're going to find somebody else that does, right? Because they're in it to win it. They're there to win championships. You are not running a hobby. If you are, you're probably doing it yourself and you're not that concerned about the dollar bills at the end of the day, right? Maybe you have another income stream that's paying those kind of things. But this is really important for those people that want to put money in the bank, want to not live month by month, week by week, to establish a cushion. If we're entering into some down months, we don't want to be nickel and diming everything. We want to establish a bumper, right, for our finances. So we can really reach these Q3 and Q4 goals. That's why this is so important to us. And we do get fired up about the strategy and the many moving pieces that have to go into it to reach those goals.
Yeah, and Aubrey said something really important. I saw, Samantha, that you replied, but Aubrey was saying again about that being pushy. There's two things I just want to respond to that. One being the first step in all of this is just awareness. Before we take action, we need to be aware. Right? So we just want to know, hey, is my traffic up or down? Is my average order value up or down? Am I converting customers up or down? Awareness is the first step. And I want to give you an example from my retail career over an action I took to correct low UPT. So UPT is your units per transaction, right? Someone's coming in, are they buying one item or are they buying 4 items, right? The higher you can get that, the better off you'll be in terms of sales. So we had a low UPT and we felt, we were a children's focused store, that there wasn't enough fun grab and go stuff at the register. I came up with what I think was a brilliant idea and everyone laughed at me, Sarah. Do you know what it was?
I'm going to say very interactive things. What did you do? What did you have going on?
I wanted to put a gummy bear display at the register. And everyone said, who's buying gummy bears? We're a clothing store. It's going to make a mess. You're going to have sticky gummy bears all over. This is a terrible idea. What are you thinking? I said, I see this every day. People are waiting online. They're waiting to pay. They have a kid with them. It's a mom and a kid. She's stressed out. The kid's stressed out. They want to check out. I said, watch how many people grab gummy bears. Our units per transaction skyrocketed because people would wait online and the kid would see the gummy bears and go, Mom, I want a gummy bears. And what are you going to do when your kid's throwing a tantrum about buying gummy bears? You're going to buy the gummy bear.
Of course.
And our units per transaction went through the roof. And then we started adding on different little items. Remember when those fidget spinners were the biggest thing? Right at the register, right? So that as you're checking out, you have an opportunity, a training opportunity to get it in front of people, to have it be the last thing they see, to even train your cashier to be able to say at checkout, hey, can I offer you anything else? We have these new fidget spinners. So it doesn't have to just be pushiness, right? There are other strategizing, remerchandising. There's so much that can go into moving these metrics, but we have to be aware first.
Oh my gosh, for sure. Yes, by no means would you want to come across pushy, but also think of it like this. Your customer came in for a reason. They don't know all the things that you know about your products. They don't know all the things that are trending. They don't know what you have. So often they're coming to you basically as an open slate saying, help me, rebuild my living room. Help me find a gift for my so-and-so. Help me not look old and frumpy. Help me impress my husband. Help me whatever, fill in the blank. So it's your job literally to show them things. And if they say no, they say no, right? But you're showing things that they could help them solve that initial problem that they came in with, not just showing them random things that they, wouldn't serve them. That is a solution to an issue that Dane solved for a customer. Who's been the mom standing in line with your kid, like, please don't throw a fit. Please just stand still. Please, we'll be out of here in 10 minutes, 5 minutes, whatever it might be. Boom, here comes the gummy bears. Solution, $5. You bet Dane actually have 10. Give me 2 of them just in case this takes a while, right? But I've just bought myself some freedom. So that is a solution. It's not being pushy. So, and I appreciate a number of the comments. It's everything we do here inside Retail Bootcamp and membership. It's not about being pushy. It is about service first, right? Because people will come back if they feel that they are served, they feel that they can trust you. And that's the kind of businesses we really want you to build. So I jumped over here. Oh, go ahead.
And if they feel that they're understood.
Correct. Yes. So I jumped over here to our open to buy calculator. I kind of gave you a little bit of a visual of this when I showed you all the calculators here. But the whole idea here is get in here, use these calculators to understand, like, what do I have on hand? What do I have coming in on order? What is my beginning and ending inventory? And what is my open to buy plan? And as I showed you that screen recording earlier, when you jump in there, it's going to give you the step-by-step instructions, because yes, this is something that it's very detailed. It's very detailed. And we just wanted to show you that it is available.
Well, and this is why I do want to say though, right? Open to buy is like, right, we're trying to get into the gym and start lifting some weights. Open to buy is like walking into the gym and on your first day trying to do Bulgarian split squats, right? It is a very complex movement in retail. And so, what I will say just at a high level is when you start buying correctly, loving your analogies, Dave, when you start buying the right amount of goods to land at the right time, and you sell it within a reasonable time frame, that is the kind of core of building a profitable cash flow positive retail business. So we're not going to be able to get into all of the specifics of open to buy today, except to say that this is why we offer Retail Bootcamp, right? We offer Retail Bootcamp so that we can start getting invested with you on how to start creating an open to buy. We offer that's why our membership, we have the retail calculators and the open to buy calculators there so that you can start experimenting with it. So Samantha or anyone in the chat, if you could put that Retail Bootcamp, because that is where, link in the chat, that is where we're really going to be able to dive in to how to actually start doing those complex movements in retail and financial accounting. It's going to be in those courses. And so another just quick note, in Hubventory, right? If you are a Hubventory member, if you're a Boutica member, you're shopping on Hubventory, we also integrate open to buy markers in there as well that can help you keep track of your spending to make sure that it is in line and that you're tracking it. So just all of these incredible membership benefits. And then if we want to go deeper, you're going to be with Sarah and Ashley in Bootcamp, and we got that $200 off for you today.
Yes, for sure. So this screenshot, what this is this right here. This is our ROI calculator, your return on investment calculator that's built into Hubventory. So when you purchase wholesale on Hubventory, you can put in your markup. You can play around with these ranges of if you were to offer any discounts. And then it will tell you what your potential return on investment for that product could be, right? And it also allows you to create these budgets. When we create an open to buy budget, what we were just talking about on the previous screen, you can bring that over and say, my open to buy budget for the month, maybe it's on denim, maybe it's on accessories. You establish what it is, and every time you spend money on that category, it will automatically deduct that for you. So you can see here inside membership, inside Retail Bootcamp, we try to help you be the most disciplined retailer possible, because we know how easy it is to go off the rails, right? And that's why it's really important, that very first slide that we showed, that allocating the funds per, payroll, rent, miscellaneous, advertisement. That's really important to learn. So it keeps you in your bumpers, like you're bowling, right? Like you're not going to go in the gutter. We don't want you in the gutter. So that brings us to wrapping up today where we are with our key takeaways. Hopefully everyone has a better understanding, at least a better understanding of how they can go about learning to pay themselves, moving out some of that dead inventory. Dana and I would love it if everyone got up from their chairs after this session, went out onto the sales floor, onto the warehouse, go through your website and kind of look and say, what is sitting here that's dead? What am I still showing at full price that the clock is ticking? It is about to expire. It's turning brown. Maybe there's some things I need to reshoot, rephotograph, remerchandise to make it new again, but take some action on that right away. So I can turn that into cash, reinvest back into my business, reinvest into inventory that's going to sell faster to create more profit, right? So I can reach those goals. And hopefully you've understood a better way to go ahead and start tracking some of your inventory as well.
Okay.
That's that.
Oh, day 3. Oh,
yeah, I run it real quick. Day 3, you guys don't forget, tomorrow we tie all of this together. We started with the content plan on day 1. Today we've helped you identify, well, we're going to clean up some cash, clean up your inventory, build out that plan for inventory investment that we're going to need to support that content plan we built on day 1. And now tomorrow you're going to learn how to drive traffic to your events, your promotions, to sell through that inventory faster, all of those things, ramping up those sales. So Ashley was going to be back tomorrow along with Jeff Fenn from our team. It is going to be amazing. So I'm super excited about that.
And then Sarah, before we get to Q&A, because we'll be able to get to a lot of questions today, I do want to put in the chat, if you have questions, if you want to do a little audit on your business, if you want to talk about what the right path for you is, if you related to a lot of this information today and you want to do a little deeper dive and you want to know what route to take, I put a link up. It's to book a call with me or some of my colleagues, Samantha, Phoebe. And so if you have questions, book the time. Again, one of the things that I just want to say is we give you free resources. When we give you those free resources, take advantage, right? We know you are busy boutique owners and, oh, we got a, Sarah, I don't know. No, you're sharing, I think you're sharing your Word doc, but
sorry.
You never know what's going to come up on
There we go.
There we go. Right. So if you want to talk to us, just kind of tell us where you're at in your business. We can help do a little bit of an audit and see what, the best path forward for you within the Boutique Hub membership and retail bootcamp community.
Yeah. And I saw somebody say, if you're not a Boutique Hub member yet, but you enroll in Retail Bootcamp, you do get access to all things in the membership for 2 months. So we figure that gives you a great opportunity to really see all the different tools there as well. So there's a lot of different things inside membership. Same thing inside Boutique Hub Black. There's different things in membership you wouldn't have access to. So that's why we want to give you those free 2 months of general membership when you enroll in Retail Bootcamp. But please book those calls. We'd love to learn more about who you are, about your store, your goals, and help identify ways that, we can help you, whether it's in Retail Bootcamp or in general membership or even Boutique Hub Black. So we want to make sure you're in the right spot for growth wherever you're at. So that's that. I know there's going to be a ton more questions, but should we jump into some Q&A?
Let's do it.
All right. Drop your questions in the chat, guys. It is Q&A rapid fire time. Let's see.
And by the way, if you had asked some questions earlier, I'm trying to scroll back up, but if you were asking some questions earlier that didn't get answered, okay, fall in the home decor industry is such a short season. How do we ensure that we sell through those goods before Christmas and winter items are put out? Well, listen, this is all going to come down to 2 things, Brenda, right? First of all, are we buying the right amount of goods? Okay, so it all starts there. So when you're going to market now in home and gift, you may have had to already, home and decor, you may have already had to purchase those ahead of season. I don't know how much of yours you're buying is immediate or how much has already been done. But I would say the first place to start there is to look back what you did last fall, how much you received, how much you sold. So that the first part of this is, do I have the right amount of inventory? The second part is, listen, this is going to be old school retail hustle, whether you're an online business, whether you're a brick and mortar store, right? How much merchandising are you doing, right? Are we getting those pieces out in front? Great displays. Are we putting them up on Instagram? Are we doing live sales? Are we sending out emails, right? If you have a short window to sell, you have to use every tool in your toolbox to sell it. And oftentimes, and I really want to go back to this, and you'll hear me say this a lot, there's a lot of fancy tools out there. There's a lot of technology. There's a lot of things that could help us. But there's also just old school retail muscle that we have to kind of hustle through. So, Brenda, I would say first start with making sure that you're buying the right amount or looking back at your orders if you already have purchased that. And then we want to throw everything we can out there in order to sell it. And that is merchandising, marketing, promotion, emails, clienteling. What an old school thought, right? Clienteling, calling people, telling them new stuff is in. And that's how we want to stimulate that.
Yes. Yes. All right. I wanted to answer Shai's iPhone, and I believe it's with Lariat Lashes, and Lariat Lashes, love it. You guys are an amazing brand member here at the Boutique Hub. Thank you so much for everything you do. I wanted to answer her question in the Q&A. It says, is Retail Bootcamp beneficial for brand owners? A lot of the content I see seems specific for boutique owners, like moving dead inventory. She does not have dead inventory because her product is a constant. Yes, I love the lashes, by the way, great reviews on those as well. But I do want to just say, we have a lot of wholesalers that take Retail Bootcamp. There's a number of benefits there. Like I said, at the very beginning, I'm going to jump back here to this layer or this slide. So as you see, we teach inside Retail Bootcamp on the 6 proven layers of retail. And this strategy works for retail and wholesale. So your foundation of your business, the operations, the branding, the mindset, the productivity, knowing your customer. There's a lot of exercises right there that are super important to any type of retail business, wholesale or retail. Then products and profit. This is extremely important as well. The things you learn about hiring and paying employees in the 3rd layer, right? Budgeting for those sort of things. Profit first planning, great for wholesale businesses as well. The sales strategy, yeah, that there's a few different things that are going to happen there, but it is really nice. One of the things our brand members will tell us is they love to hear what their retailers are doing because it helps them better serve those retailers as well. And all the things in the photography, the AI tools, the content strategy, the marketing, all of that. It doesn't matter if you sell at wholesale or retail, or you sell home decor and gift, specialty occasion, pets, quilts. This course, it really does work for all different types.
Okay, so I see a few questions I'm going to help knock out, Sarah. Amanda says, I'm brand spanking new and I'm on the fence about RBC. I don't want to get any more overwhelmed than I am. Well, Amanda, the first thing I will ask you is, are you a Boutique Hub member? Because, I hope that you've had some time to explore what's in that library. But to me, right, it really depends on how you like to learn. To me, I need that personalized approach. So, almost think about it like the gym analogy, right? You're walking into like a group fitness class where you're going to be with other people motivating you. You have coaches along the way. And so it actually may take some of the overwhelm out of it, having some structure around this, having some motivation, and having a bit of cheerleading as you're getting coached along. And we really do go through that 6-layer system. So we try to keep it pretty, pretty laid out for you and kind of continuous. So I think, me personally, the way I learn, that helps me take some overwhelm out. Angelina asked, is there a Shopify report that shows UPT? To be honest with you, I don't know, but UPT is probably one of the easiest things to figure out. You just take the amount of transactions you did in a day and look at the amount of actual items you did in a day. So you just take the amount of transaction divided by the number of items. So even if, you could create that super simple, right? That's just like 2 numbers you need. It's on every sales report. I would hope that Shopify does have it. I may be wrong, but easy formula.
All right. Okay, Genesis Flora says, hello, I've had issues with restocking inventory because it does really well. And then customers start asking, when is this product coming back? I end up restocking, but I shop on Fashion Go and they send me too small, too medium, too large usually. And I get stuck with the large sizes most of the time. And then that's when I get stuck with old inventory. What can I do to fix this? Okay, so let me see in the chat who else feels this pain, right? Like you sell really strong and maybe a smalls or mediums, but you don't sell the larges or vice versa, whatever that is. So Genesis, thanks for asking that question. I wanted to reply to that because I know it is universal. So here's the thing. When you find something that is a strong hitter, right? As soon as you see traction, get on the phone, call the vendor as fast as you possibly can, and ask them about restocks. Now, it's okay. Some vendors are just going to say they're pre-packed. We don't break things open. The worst they're going to say is no. If you say, hey, can I just get smalls and mediums here? The odds are they're probably going to say, nope, they're already pre-packed. You're going to get 222. Fine, so be it. Here's my thing. We get into Retail Bootcamp on segmenting your customers and understanding your customers, who they are, what they buy. You want to develop a marketing strategy specifically for the customers that would be buying those larger sizes to help make them move, right? You want to be making an initiative about who are some of those customers. How can I get those in front of this audience? It seems like a lot of times we have a specific type of customer. There's other customers out there. We have to do a better job of getting information to them, let them know we have these products available for them as well. One of the things on your situation with the size large is like, what does that size large really fit? And helping that person understand you do have something that serves them, not getting complacent or lazy about it and just maybe assuming those smalls and mediums are going to go, but then we haven't done a good job like really marketing those other sizes. There's a couple ideas right there. My whole thing is, if your markup strategy, your planning strategy that Dana and I talked about at the beginning is pricing those at enough where you can absorb taking markdowns on those larges if you have to, you're in good hands, right? Hopefully you're doing a better markup strategy. So when you sell through the 4 of that 6-pack, those 2 mediums, 2 smalls, you sell those quickly. If you do have 2 or sleepers in those 2 larges, even if you have to discount them, hopefully your ROI on the whole investment is still strong enough to support that. Does that make sense? Where you're going to get in trouble is if you do something just easy and like just to go a 2-time markup, then those sleeping larges are really going to cost you a lot of money. Okay, perfect.
Sarah, I'm going to just take one right now, and then I have one that I want to pass over to you. Someone asked, I see, oh no, now I lost it. Okay, got it. I'm having trouble with open to buy. Hi, Beth. I produce my own children's clothes. I struggle with how many different options I need in my store. I think my store looks better with more options, but buying a store full in June for Christmas is tough. So, Beth, here's what I'm going to say to you. We got good news and we got bad news, right? The good news is there's resources to help. The bad news is that children's wear is really hard to plan for because, you know, a women's business, right, or a home and gift store, you could have 10 categories in your business, 12 categories in your business. With children's, because you are doing different age ranges, different genders, different size ranges, different, you know, there's different vendors for different, you know, age groups, there's a lot of complexity there, right? So buying for, you know, newborn to 24 months is totally different than buying boys toddler, right? It's a completely different market space, or if you're producing clothes. So open to buy does get a little more complicated when you have more categories, more departments, and more types of businesses. So we do have a great partner in Management One that I think could be a helpful resource. I know some people on here are members of Management One and use them for open to buy planning. But I will say that it is a complex process. So play around with the tools in the member library. You know, Retail Bootcamp's a great way to get a better understanding of that. And then if you still need some outside resources, we have those options as well to put you in touch with. Ashley Alderson raised her hand. I think we could let her ask the question. Ashley, do you want to jump in? It was an oops. Okay.
Oops. All right.
Sorry. We just want to see your face, Ashley. And then, Sarah, I saw that someone asked, and I thought you could take this. Someone asked about motivating our sales associates. We have a monthly sales goal that when reached, a bonus is received by all the staff. Should we focus on personal goals or commission-based rewards? I have some ideas, but I thought you maybe have some too.
Ooh, okay. So here's my thing. People are motivated by different things. Actually, inside Retail Bootcamp, we talk a lot about the appreciation language of your staff and understanding who your employees are and what really motivates them. Some people are motivated by money. Some people are motivated by more fame, right? And we could say fame being like, maybe you make a social media post about this person. Maybe you give them the parking spot, whatever it might be. Some people are motivated by time. Maybe taking that person to lunch is what really motivates them, or giving them 15 extra minutes in the morning to clock in a little bit late, or they get to leave a little bit early. So much like the blanket sales, what we talked about in, markdowns and things, when it comes to managing your people, it's hard to do one thing that fits absolutely everybody. So I would have to, it's hard for me to answer that without knowing who your staff is. So sometimes it could be, a couple other ways that you could do this. If they're motivated by product, maybe you could do a discount on a product or a free product, or maybe you could let them help you be the buyer, right? Maybe if they are super motivated by their sales or aren't very motivated by the sales, maybe if you ask them to help you be the buyer to invest in a certain line of dresses or candles or something like that, maybe that inspires them to sell it a little bit better. So those are a couple different ways to go about doing that. But when it comes to any incentive programs, my 2 cents on that is don't just wing it. Establish some guidelines, establish what the prize is going to be, and make sure you're committed to that, and give them those goals and they can attain them. One of the other things I always like to say too is, if the goal was $2,000 in sales by the end of the day and they were at $1,999, sorry, we didn't make the goal, right? Like, my advice is be very stern in that goal, and we're either going to win it or we're going to lose it. Dane, what were you going to add?
I used to do 2 things that I really liked. I did staff bingo, which I think people used to go wild for. So, it would be things like you would give them like a bingo box, and right, like if you sell, 3 pairs of jeans in one day, you get to check off a box. If you, if you have a sale over $150, you check off a box. And as you fill up your bingo card, you get prizes and rewards. So people used to love that, because you would check in every morning in a morning meeting, who's winning the bingo card, who got what yesterday. And I also find that if your product's great and someone's working at your store, people are really motivated by, gift cards to the store. Sarah, I don't know when you had your boutique, if you found that, but I think people, if they're selling the product, they probably love a lot of the product. And then you get the double whammy of, oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Look at that.
So this is, I love that you said that.
Where were you when I was doing all this by myself?
I'm sorry. This is a bingo card that I created. I dropped in our Facebook group, and it's available as inside membership in RBC, but this is just a sample, right? And it's something that, we would do this in the store, that everybody worked off their own bingo card, or you could do this as a team too. But we just made this in Canvas. So as soon as you brought this up, I'm like, oh yeah, I've got a whole laundry list of fun games and all these things to keep your staff motivated.
You've taken years off my life. You could have saved me so many years. Okay, and then I saw someone ask about driving traffic to their store, right? Oh, there we are. Adrian, any ideas on how to drive more traffic to your storefront? Well, good timing. I think tomorrow is going to go into that a lot. We're going to be talking about SEO, paid ads, digital marketing. So that's going to be a great information that you could start getting into tomorrow. And then I would also suggest booking one of those discovery calls to see, we could do a website audit, see if you are building as much organic traffic as possible. So tomorrow is going to be a great resource for you on day 3 with Jeff and Ashley. And then please book one of those discovery calls. Again, that is a free resource for you to chat out. You could vent to us for 30 minutes if you need to, and we'll help work through some of those questions with you.
Dane, you know what we forgot to do?
Oh no.
Oh gosh, Ashley, sorry. We got so
Trouble?
excited about jumping in today and talking about all the things. We totally forgot to talk about our giveaway. And I did it again. Hold on 1 second. Why is this not following
Can I
me?
tell you one funny story?
Here we go. We forgot to talk about this.
Hi,
Ashley's back. There she
I'm
is.
back.
Oh, she's coming for us, guys. She's coming for us.
Well, I mean, we got stuff to give away. So, actually, I think you have the prizes on the next screen. Many of you yesterday took a screenshot while you were here and tagged us on Instagram at the Boutique Hub or at AJ Alderson, or you could take Dane, you could take Sarah. But we just want to say thank you. So I think we are planning, Shannon Gordon, if you're here, to announce all the winners tomorrow. But we will have 3 winners. We're giving away a small business marketing handbook, a holiday marketing masterclass, and a free VIP upgrade to somebody who has enrolled in Retail Bootcamp, just for saying, hey, thank you for taking a picture and sharing it on Instagram. Fun fact, if you are a member of the hub and you got our monthly member map this week, and you happen to notice that the training this month is all about CEO versus entrepreneur mindset and pouring back into yourself during the summer months, the monthly member challenge that goes with the map is all about attending a hub training and just taking a picture of it and uploading it to the Typeform. So if you take us on Instagram, just take that same photo and upload it to the Typeform, and then you're also entered in our month giveaway as well. There you go.
Yes.
Shannon,
Sorry.
is that correct? You'll be back tomorrow with the winners, 3 winners from the 3 days. So tag us at the Boutique Hub is where you enter by tagging. I'll put it in the chat.
Perfect. Perfect. Take those pictures, folks. Yes, 3 winners. That's going to be awesome.
Okay,
Sorry.
so I have a few questions before we jump. They'll be really quick, I promise.
Okay.
Okay, because you guys have been so awesome in the chat today. Who here is signing up for Retail Bootcamp? Can I get a roll call in the chat? Oh, Aubrey, we're going to have so much. We're talking later today. Look at this. We got a lot of people signing up for Retail Bootcamp. Sarah's taking it again. Natasha's in. Heck yeah, Phoebe. Angelina will be there. That's awesome. Don't forget the $200 off. And again, Ashley, this may be my fault, but this is the last time that pricing is going to be available. So this is the last time with the pricing. I don't think it has changed since 2017 or 2018.
18.
Yeah. So last time to get 2018 pricing. So sign up. You will not regret it. And then my second question is, where do I set up a call with Dane? Candace will send you that link. I'm putting it in the chat right now. My second question is, who am I seeing in Dallas? Who's going to be at Summit?
Who doesn't have their outfits finalized yet? Dane, I know you do.
I may have to go to the dry cleaner. Let's see if they'll do an emergency.
I see people are already packed. Oh my gosh, I'm stressing. Tomorrow at this time, I'm in Dallas. I'm in Dallas tomorrow at this time, and I have not packed. I was so concerned about getting summer school and everything done for you guys, and hoping this was awesome. And I think it's been awesome. And yeah, now I'll get on packing.
Christy, we do a digital ticket. So could someone put the link in for Christy to get the digital ticket to Summit where you could pick up the live streams? I wish I'm in South Africa. Well, yes. South Africa, first of all, thank you for being here. Joburg, Cape Town, where are you calling from? But you can attend Summit right from the comfort of your own laptop. You could be on your couch, you could be in your store, you could be in your stock room. The digital tickets are there. Samantha just put the link up. Oh, Cape Town, look at that. We are from Cape Town. And then the last question I will ask, I had a ton of fun today. This was my first summer school. If you feel you learned something, if you liked what we went over today, just put a little heart in the chat. I'd love to get some feedback. I really had a great time. Sarah, I thought we went over some great stuff.
Woo! This was fun. You guys, this is just the beginning. I'm so excited. Dane, thank you so much for joining. You give a great perspective, new insight on things. This is what we've been looking for. I'm loving it. You guys that are in Retail Bootcamp, look for a lot more of Dane coming in our small group coaching inside Retail Bootcamp. Book that call. If you guys want to jump on a call with Dane to kind of talk through some things, get that audit, please use that as a resource. Get in there. I cannot wait. This is going to be awesome.
It is going to
And,
be awesome. Bootcamp's going to be even better, Dane, with you being a part of it. Like, this is seriously the tip of the iceberg, and I'm nerding out watching you guys. And I know that there's going to be amazing questions of the day, Dane, with you involved. So, I mean, today was just about hairspray, but I can only imagine the topics that we're going to get into every week in Bootcamp. So, buckle up.
and listen, I promise never to drink 2 cups of coffee and talk about markdowns again. I know I get I get too excited.
Oh, what do you mean? What do you mean?
Too funny.
Oh man, you guys. All right. Let's see. Dane's link, Michelle. Hold on, we'll grab it for you real quick before we
Scroll
jump.
up just a little bit. It's up there. We can grab that for you. And Nicole's out of the dentist. Her teeth are now white and clean. Welcome back.
Oh, good.
Ooh, I bet your dentist was.
Nicole, that's right. She was in the dentist waiting room. That's too funny.
Oh, so funny, so funny. All right, so tomorrow y'all are going to be back. I will not be here because I'll be on a plane, but you guys tune back in for day 3. We're going to put all of this together and help you learn how to drive traffic to your events and sell through this inventory that you have. That is the plan. Q3 and Q4 are going to be killer this year for you guys. Thank you guys so much for attending.
Thanks for coming, guys. See you at Summit. See you in Bootcamp. Bye, guys. See you tomorrow.